What's up? Hope everyone's having a good day and is ready for another video in the series we like to call Underrated Throwers. Today we got Godina. He is probably one of my favorite shot putters ever. He is a 3-time world champion, a Olympic silver medalist in '96, an Olympic bronze medalist in 2000, and he's also a world indoor champion in 2001. And for a lot of the 90s and very early 2000s, I would say he dominated the era basically between Randy Barnes winning in '96 and I want to say like 2000. So pretty substantial considering how competitive shot put was back then, in terms of it being top heavy. You know, his end of his prime was coinciding with Adam Nelson's beginning of his prime, and he was also a great collegiate athlete as well. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but he's also the NCAA record holder in shot put, throwing 22 meters. And in that same year, in '95, he went on to win the World Championships. So that right there is already pretty goated. He's also a 69-meter discus thrower and has competed in the World Championship finals in discus as well. He didn't medal, but I think he got like fifth in '95 or something, or '97, something like that. So that right there, I mean, his PR is 22 meters 20. So he has one of the most impressive resumes of any male shot putter ever. But despite that, I think he's very underrated, because I think people nowadays look at a 22-20 throw and are just like, oh wow, that's cool, but I mean, that won't do anything today. Well, first of all, that could get a bronze medal, and second of all, I don't think people realize like how far 22 meters is. Alright, I know we're kind of spoiled in today's shot put culture, but especially back when Godina threw it, it was coming off a lot of people. It was coming off like the tail end of the Soviet Union era, and like a bunch of really like roided out people, and you know, Randy Barnes getting banned again in '96 or something, or '97, I forget which one. And you know, it was back then, throwing over 22 meters was absolutely insane. There were not very many people doing it. Like, to make the World Championship final, you only had to throw like around 20 meters. Nowadays, that barely will make an NCAA final, like national final, which is crazy. But I don't think people realize. So 22 meters is 72 feet. All right, that is really, really far, and that will basically win any competition that does not have Joe Kovacs and Ryan Krauser in it right now. All right, and Tom Walsh, I guess. All right, so even nowadays, he would still be one of the top shot putters in the world. And not to mention, he's one of the best competitors of all time, as you can tell by his resume and medals. Which is why I have him ranked really high, is because I respect people who can throw far on the day, rather than just like throwing far, you know, at like some random meet that nobody cares about, and maybe they don't even have video of it, or it's like a really bad angle of the video and stuff. I mean, it's cool that you threw it and stuff, but still, it's like, you know, at the end of the day, it's a competition. You got to do it on the day. And he did it multiple times. And I also think he's underrated just because, you know, a lot of younger people won't know a lot of throwers from the 90s and stuff and early 2000s. But they should know Godina, because he's one of the best. He's probably, I would consider him the best of that era. And you can say it's a weak era, but whatever. He still dominated. And I don't consider it a weak era. I don't consider it the strongest era, but I don't think it's a weak era. But yeah, he's one of the, in my opinion, the greatest dual eventer ever. And yeah, I just think he's very underrated. So let's get into this video. So let's watch it full speed. So as you can tell, very, very fast. Very fast. A little hunched over. But right away you can tell crazy fast. Alright, so John Godina I think is around like 6'2" or something. I forget his weight. Height and weight. I'll link his personal best, height and weight, and notable accomplishments in the video description. He graduated from UCLA, just in case you didn't know that either. But I just wanted to mention that before I forget. But let's get into the actual analysis. So right off the bat, first of all, before I get into it, actually, I think John Godina is a great technical model. A great technical model. All right. So just get that right off the bat, because he has a very, very simple technique. And if you have a tendency to throw with a little more of an angle like this and not so upright, I think John Godina is a great technical model for you. All right. So let's get into it. So really nice wind, weight equally distributed on both legs. Nice simple wind. And then immediately sinks. And you can see right here, he starts the movement with his right foot. Sorry, his left foot. And he keeps his left arm inside the knee. And he's using that left arm as a guide. So maybe you can't see that because of this video. But his eyes are looking at his hand, and I'm a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of using this left arm as a guide. So then, because it prevents you from just blowing out and pulling this left side out the back and losing connection. And it helps you keep your head straight as well, and it helps you just keep your connection with your body in the shot. So I'm a big fan of that. And, people throw far with either or. People throw far, not pulling out the back, but letting the left arm go in front of the left knee. Or people throw far with the left arm inside the knee. Doesn't even matter. It's just like a personal preference. Like I said, people throw far both ways. You just have to find what works for you. I like that with his sweep leg or his right leg, he kind of kicks it out like that to build even more stretch and more separation. And John Godina is actually a really separated thrower. So, really nice separation, especially at the back. So, really nice here. So, he kicks it out to get more length and for it to go out. Really nice space in between the knees. And then right here, nice sweep. I really like this dorsiflexed sweep and the groin facing the sector. Really nice. Turns his left foot all the way. Didn't mean to do that. Sorry, yeah. His left foot all the way. And he really sinks with this left knee. And you notice that he's a little bent over, but he's not breaking at the hip. So his butt doesn't shoot forward. All right. So he's already angled down a little like this. So he's just keeping that. And it just looks like he breaks at the hip because he's just sinking really hard with this left leg. All right, so he's here. Really nice. Love this. The left armpit over left knee. Over left heel. Really nice. And then gets here. Oh, sorry. Skipped a step. So really nice sweep. Love holding the chest here. Really nice. Love this position right here. There are a couple of things I don't like. Although I like his back to middle. I really like it. And then right here, you see how he doesn't really turn his right foot? So his right foot's facing here instead of here. So I think he could have thrown further if he was a little more aggressive with his right foot. It's weird. I don't know why it doesn't turn, actually, because usually what happens when your right your right foot doesn't turn in the middle is because you drop your heel, which causes you to break your stack, your right side stack. But he actually does a great job of not doing that. So I don't know if he does that intentionally or what, but yeah, he doesn't really rotate that much on the ground. He kind of does a glider's reverse, which was very typical of the 90s. So he's here, and he lands really good. Like, he lands pretty far back, his hips a little ahead of the shot, but that's just a product of him not really turning this right foot all the way. So, and like this long left arm, I like that he's not peeking at the sector, like his eyes aren't looking at the sector, so he's staying in connection with the shot. And really nice square finish. And even still, even though he doesn't turn his right foot, I like that he keeps his right knee bent, and he doesn't just jump. Alright, so he's here, really nice, keeps a good block. This is the other thing I don't like. I wish that he would keep his eyes on the shot put a little longer. I feel like he just kind of loses connection a little bit. Like, his head is not pulling, but he doesn't get a good upper body block right here, so his head is facing that way, and he kind of just turns away from it. But I mean, throwing 22-20. I mean, these are just my opinions. Obviously coached by the great Art Venegas, so who am I to deny anything Art Venegas says? But these are just my opinions. And yeah, but overall, nice square finish for the most part. And what I mean by square finish, that his shoulders are facing the sector, and his chest is. But this tilt is a little weird to me. I would normally like to see the shoulders be a little more level. But again, this is more like a glider's finish, honestly. Because he doesn't really turn the right foot, he just pushes off it, and then just gets it out of his hand, and then just sticks the finish, and then just stays in. So he doesn't really get a lot of rotational energy. He gets a lot of linear energy going into the shot, which, I mean, isn't a bad thing. It's just not typical of modern day throwing, but it was very typical of this era of throwing. A lot of people did this because the glide was still a big thing back then. You know, people were still believing that the glide makes you throw way further. And you still had a lot of people at the Olympic and world level throwing with a glide throw, which you don't really see that much anymore. Ever since David Stroll retired, basically, you don't really see that many gliders on the world and Olympic scene. So he's here, really nice, and he still gets a nice reverse. So let's see, left foot lands there, right foot replaces it, so he gets all his energy into the shot, and really nice recovery. And actually, this is a very good demonstration of how you should reverse with a glide, because he's looking back, and then he drops. Well, he doesn't really drop, but he's not looking at where the shot lands. He's looking backwards to keep his weight from going forward and falling out. And then he kind of scoots back. Another way to do that is just bend this right knee, and then you'll just stay in. So, yeah, but overall, I really love his technique. Alright, just a couple little things that I think he could have done to throw way further, which I think he had the capabilities of throwing further. I think he could have been like a 2250 guy if he really wanted to. Well, I mean, sorry, not if you... I'm sure he wouldn't mind being a 2250 guy. But, I mean, it was just a product of the era. And I think John Godina really demonstrated the technique of this era. Alright, so I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys liked the video. Again, I'll link his height, weight, personal best, and notable accomplishments in the video description. And have a good day.